Like, I mean, who among us hasn't been hurt by mean girl behavior? Like overhearing someone talking shit about you, or like learning later that you've been the subject of mean gossip. Like the shame of it and the sadness and the outrage you feel when you've been treated cheaply and badly by your school friends or colleagues or whatever. It's scarring stuff, isn't it? Most of us can remember in like extreme detail the mean things that others have said to us. It's like every insult is branded in excruciating detail into our flesh, when like most compliments seem to, go in one ear and out the next. So for human beings, such ridiculously social group animals as we are, the biggest fear is always to be kicked out of the group. Back when I was, 13, 14, I was close friends with these other two girls, and we were like a little trio. And one of the girls would like more or less every day take it upon herself to band together with me or the other girl and spend the entire day picking on the unpicked girl. I still like remember almost with shivers the feeling of every morning finding out whether today I would be chosen to pick or to be picked on. And like the stress and panic those days when I was the one forced to stand the teasing. It was completely arbitrary too, like we couldn't do anything to avoid this weird and sinister dynamic. But I remember one morning, really quite far into this horrible routine of ours, that for some reason, the other girl and I silently somehow agreed to that day choose each other and pick on the first girl instead. For a whole day, she was the ostracized and like lowest in the pecking order. Oh, the triumph when we realized that we had this type of power to completely turn the hierarchy on its end. Terrible, but triumphant. And just like that, we had turned into the mean girls ourselves. Oh God, pubescent girlhood, is there a hotter hell? Anyway, needless to say, one day of this new hierarchy and the dynamic was broken. No more teasing of anyone, and the three of us could like happily move on in our friendship in a kinder and like less terrifying mood. I think when we are in this situation as children or adults, when we're like feeling meanly or unjustly treated by people we know, or strangers being rude in traffic or whatever, is like a normal response to like wonder like why on earth are they so rude? Like how can they treat other people this way? Like this type of like appalled outrage, you know what I mean? But hello now, let's be honest, who among us has never gossiped or said something mean or been in some way inconsiderate or rude? I think it's human nature to, look at ourselves as the hero of the story and to live our lives with the genuine belief that we are good people. In general, I think most people cut themselves a lot more slack and excuse their own bad behavior much more than they would other people's. But for the last several years, I've been thinking more and more that actually I don't want to justify my own bad behaviors, and I want to stop making excuses for myself. I was getting tired of these far-fetched, contrived explanations on why I behaved or thought or felt this and that. I find it much more interesting, and decent for that matter, to look honestly at myself. When I look at my own teenage self and the intricate hierarchies and group dynamics that I was part of back then, first of all, I get a little scared, but also I think that if I really look at my own motivations for being part of this mean girlness going around, there were really just two main motivations. First of all, to contribute to the group and use gossip or enmity to other groups or whatever as a glue to stick the group together. So basically a fear of being left out. It's like a social lubricant, isn't it? To complain about the boss together or to speak meanly about celebrities that we have never even met. Thank you so much to OLEADA for sponsoring this video. OLEADA is a New York-based bag brand founded by female professionals for all of us modern women and, everyone else. Their bags are inspired by ocean waves, which is a direct translation from the Spanish word oleada, and their aim is to provide both aesthetic and functional work bags. And it's just my favorite type of style, the timeless, classic but sleek aesthetic. All the bags are made to be practical, with space for laptops and several compartments to optimize organization. And I'm all about being organized. The bags are also water stained and scratch resistant so that they're durable and made to be used in everyday life. I have received 2 beautiful bags. First up is the Captain Sleeve Suite, and the best thing about this bag is that it's made from 51 recycled plastic bottles to adhere to the modern sustainable thinking and to slow fashion, which is a top priority for OLEADA. It fits up to a 16-inch laptop, and if you look at the back, it has a foldable design so that you can use the bag as a laptop stand as well. Have you ever seen anything like this? I love the look of this bag. It's sleek and timeless and perfect for going around London channeling that modern businesswoman moment. It also has this detachable clutch where you can store your charger or mouse, for example. I also got the Coast Portfolio Satchel. It has a water-resistant exterior and biodegradable polyester lining. It's the ultimate everyday type of bag for me, and I'm such a sucker for versatility, so I'm very pleased to say that this one can be worn in 4 different ways: tote, shoulder bag, crossbody and handheld. So I'll switch it up depending on what I'll be wearing. Plus, it's spacious enough to hold my laptop, my phone, makeup, notebooks, paperback, etc, etc. All my essentials. It's also a great travel bag, and you can actually attach it to a suitcase with its sleeve design in the back. OLEADA also has a recycling program where they encourage customers to send back their used bags for recycling purposes and claim a reward. So why don't you go take a look at OLEADA's gorgeous bags for yourself? Just click the link below in the description and use my promo code JennyMOLEADA for a nice 20% discount off site-wide. Thanks so much to OLEADA, and let's get back to the video. The other motivation for being mean is, the classic envy. Because of course, when we envy someone, it's much easier to bring them down to our level than to push ourselves up to theirs. So the more you start to look at it, the more you notice envy is absolutely goddamn everywhere, isn't it? Again, we are such like a social group animal, so comparing ourselves to others is like catnip to us. I mean, would we even have any type of social media if comparing ourselves to others wasn't a human thing? I mean, I'm so aware of my own human nature in this because I've been an influencer for so long now, and my creative work on my platforms is so ridiculously measurable in numbers. Followers, likes, views, downloads, view duration, engagement, click-through rates, and not to mention how much money I get paid from sponsors. Every single aspect of this job is measurable through a number, and numbers, of course, are so easy to compare. So I've just learned that to be able to live a happy and sane life with this as a job, I have to stay away from the numbers and from comparing myself to other influencers. But just like in, I guess, any industry, there is so much drama and gossip in this influencer world that I honestly just want to stay as far away from it as possible. Because gossip, we need to talk about it. I'm not sure how it is among adults in Sweden these days because I was so young when I moved to London. But here, I'm really always so shocked at how ridiculously common it is for people, either people you know or people you only just met, to start gossiping about, other people in your industry or about celebrities that neither of you have met or will ever meet. This as some kind of entertainment, like it's a juicy, fun conversation to talk about what a bitchy person this or that author is, or, the rumored sex life of Barry Keoghan. Personally, I can't stand it. I absolutely cannot bear this type of conversation. First of all, because, they're mean and almost certain to be false anyway. It's about, kicking up, kicking at people who are more successful or glamorous than we are. And usually these rumors are just so nasty, like about the way someone looks, how out of shape they are, about bad cosmetic surgery they've had done, etc, etc. Secondly, and can I be completely honest here, I just find it boring. These conversations are so uninteresting and brainless. I feel like listening is just like a fucking waste of time. Why would I care about these people and their sex lives and lip fillers and rumored bad personalities? Like, why do we care? Are our own lives so dreary and dramaless that we have to invent nonsense about Philippa in marketing or Sally Rooney? Like, why are we spending our precious time talking about people we do not know instead of talking about, you and me and what we're going for and, our struggles and what our triumphs are? Like, how is that not more interesting? I guess I'm a narcissist that way. I like talking about me. I like hearing about you. I don't care about Zendaya's financial situation. It especially rubs me the wrong way when it's woman on woman meanness. for every successful woman, there has been a bit of a struggle to reach that point. We can almost assume it. So to then immediately be criticized and gossiped about by other women or other girls out of envy or out of, using gossip as a sort of routine social behavior, how disappointing that we would just do this to each other. And this isn't just 13, 14-year-old mean girlies. I find this behavior to be so common, even with adult, outspoken feminists. It's tiring, but I get it. It's also human behavior to root for the underdog, only to the moment that the underdog becomes a top dog to start campaigning to bring down the top dog again, because who do they think they are, reaching such heights and so on, yada yada. Again, how tiring. So actually, if I think about it, the people I call friends instead of acquaintances, the people I look forward to seeing and talking to, none of them are the least bit gossipy. Now, let's be real here. I'm not saying that I'm a saint or that I'm trying to be one. It's actually quite the opposite. I don't believe that there are good or bad people. I think all humans are just that, human, flawed and messy and imperfect. I'm just a curious person and I like honesty. So I would rather be honest with myself whenever I do show any type of inconsiderate behavior or think ungenerous thoughts, and be curious about why I do it. Seriously, I wouldn't be a very good lit-fic novelist if I couldn't look at human behavior and human flaw in this unsentimental way, accepting that none of us are heroes and none of us are villains. And often, when I don't come up with some far-fetched excuse for my behavior, it does kind of stop it. Mean gossip, for example. I don't engage with the stuff at all. If we do this gossipy, criticizing mean girl business as either a kind of social lubricant to be part of the group or because we're feeling envy, then at least the first one is quite easy to stop. And as for envy, I think that's harder because it's in our nature to compare ourselves with others. And this is something that we'll probably have to deal with more or less until we die. I do find though that reminding myself to work towards personal bests instead of competing with anyone else is my preferred mode of being. When I think about all this, all I really want to do is good work, challenge myself, and nurture a really strong sense of confidence. Of course, I want my second novel to be better than my first novel, but do I want it really to be better than anyone else's novel? What does that even mean? I like to think of myself as a singular entity, basically doing my own thing in my own bubble, which has nothing to do with anyone else's bubble. There will always be people that are more successful and more lucky and more talented than I am. Why pay attention to what they're doing? And why spend time with people who take pleasure in bringing other women and other girls down? I'm not 13, 14 anymore. I don't want to pick or be picked on. My terrifying career as a mean girl was short-lived. I just want to work. I want to talk about work with friends and I want to make out with David. Honestly, I just want to kind of mind my own business. I think that's the most beautiful way to live. And if another woman is more successful than I am in my own field, I want to have the confidence enough to be able to celebrate her triumph without feeling like her success somehow lessens my own. It makes sense, doesn't it? Or do you disagree? Celebrity gossip or office shit talking or, friend group behind your back conversations. Do you engage? And if so, why? I'm not criticizing you if you are. Again, we're only human. I just think that it's often nothing more than routine meanness that we, all would be just happier if we kind of skipped. It's not cute. We're not being attractive, spreading rumors and criticisms. And also, my God, isn't it just the uttermost waste of time? Anyway, thank you so much for today. I think we're done. I've been thinking about this a lot for years. So it was nice to air out some of my thoughts on the matter. I want to be a tender-hearted, sweetheart lover girl, not a mean one. Doesn't that sound quite nice? That's it, my loves. Thank you for watching and spending time with me. I can't wait to hear what you all make of this. So see you in the comments or, in my next video. Okay, thanks for today. See you soon. Bye, bye, bye.